Have you ever faced problems when you're starting a React app that did not even exist when you were starting a regular HTML page? I also faced these problems when I was creating my own React app and found out that they work differently from each other. That's why in this video, I'll be showing a few of these problems and how to solve them, so let's go. In regular HTML, if you want to style a group of elements, you will have to put them in a class. You do that by adding class equals to your class name inside the head tag of the element. But in React, class doesn't work because the word class is a preserved keyword in JavaScript. So instead, React uses class name. That means if you want to copy the styling from the HTML and CSS, then paste it inside React, you have to change the class into class name. To do that, you can just press Ctrl D and then select the class, then just delete the class, then change to class name. But the way you target the elements in CSS in React is still the same as the way you target the CSS in HTML. You still use a full stop plus the class name of the element that you are selecting, so do take note of this. In regular HTML and CSS, if you want to style the entire page, you have to select the body tag. That's because everything lives inside the body tag by default. So to apply global styles like colors, background colors, margin, spacing, paddings, you have to select the body element. But in React, body doesn't really work because React usually put the entire component tree inside a div with an ID of root, and that div sits inside the body tag in your main index.html file, which is outside of your normal React component file. So the body kind of become untouchable and unstylable from your component CSS. That's why if you try to style the body tag in React CSS and expecting it to apply everywhere like in plain HTML, it might not work the way that you think. To fix this, you have two options. You manually style the actual body in your global CSS file like index.css, or you wrap the whole layout in a div with a custom class. Then you style that class instead. But bad news, choosing a class name have a catch. Using the same class name for a different component on a different React page will not work. This is because React doesn't fully reload the CSS when you are changing routes. So the styles of one component from one page may bleed inside another component for another page, unless you specify it. To illustrate this, I will give you an example. Let's say I have a card on both the home page and the about page. I will put the same class name for both cards but different styling. Let's see what happens. Although the page is transitioning from one page to another, the styles doesn't change for the card, but instead there's like a hint of border pink, and that's it. So if you style the class card differently in both places, styles might bleed from one page to another, especially if the CSS files are global or overlapping. To fix this, you have to specify the class name for the card for each page. So maybe the class name of the card in the home page may be home card, and the card in the about page can be about card. Now the styles looks as intended, but if the styles doesn't look as expected, your code might have the next problem. Imagine you start everything correctly, the layout is correct, the colors are correct in CSS, and the font size is correct. But when you look at the result, some elements are out of place, the colors looks wrong, etc. This happened to me when I was coding my app, which took me a while to figure out, which then I asked ChatGPT for help. Then found out that the class name in the React page is different from the class name in the CSS. This happens especially when using AI to code where the class name of the selector will change. This obviously will not style the elements correctly because you are selecting the wrong element. So to fix this, you can either change the class name of the element or change the selector in the CSS. So yeah, these are the CSS problems that you might face when you are styling your React app. Anyways, that's my opinion. Bye.